I am going to present the Eva Murillo Unsung Hero Award, and it was very much an honor and a privilege to do this. Helga exemplifies the Eva Murillo Unsung Hero Award, as she has used her experience as a crime victim and a survivor to promote public awareness, public education, and policy development. This award honors the memory of Eva Murillo, a prominent crime victim advocate in the state of California. Murillo, who passed away in 2005, is best known for her 12 years of distinguished service to the Kings County Victim Witness Assistance Program, where she pioneered efforts to help women in abusive relationships. Helga understands firsthand the impact that trauma has on victims and witnesses, which underscores her advocacy work. After being a victim of violent crime and recognizing a gap in services for victims, Helga became a role model and an advocate for survivors by creating Witness Justice. She serves as a founder, president, and CEO of this national nonprofit organization that addresses the gaps in programs which survivors rely on to seek justice and experience healing. She promotes the right to live trauma-free following acts of violence. Her knowledge of trauma and its direct impact on the well-being of the individual is the core of her advocacy work. Helga is creative, independent, and objective in her capacity to identify service needs to develop and promote appropriate responses for victims and survivors. Her advocacy work is national in scope and includes such areas as family safety, veterans issues, domestic violence, interpersonal violence, sexual assault, bullying, and human trafficking, to name only a few. Helga's experience with trauma and trauma recovery allows her to develop appropriate responses that are articulated in ways that benefit victims, survivor, legislators, practitioners, and the general public. She has dedicated her time and energy and expertise to understand trauma, trauma recovery, trauma services reform, and trauma-informed care. Her leadership through her own experiences deserves to be recognized. I am deeply honored to present her with the Eva Murillo Unsung Hero Award.
Thank you. Wow. You know, when you guys sent me that email a few weeks ago, I cried for about 2 hours. It's such an honor to receive this, and sorry, I'm emotional. You know, in 1993, when my mom and I were on vacation together, and I almost fell victim to murder, my quality of life at that point made me really wonder what the future would look like. And I never could have imagined being here tonight back then. Thank you, all my friends. And you know, sometimes when you're doing this work, you come across these brick walls and you just don't know what to do. And then there are friends that help you stand up and stay strong and find a way over the wall, through it, or around it, or to turn away from the wall and find a different path entirely. I have to acknowledge my kids, Nevin and Sophie, my sister Heidi, and Nick, my very, very dear friend and boyfriend. They are absolutely a cornerstone of my strength and my hope. You know, as I do this work, I also have to say that I wouldn't be getting this award if I weren't an advocate. So there are a couple of things that I want to say about the work that I'm focusing on right now. One is that we've just started the Coalition Addressing Trauma. And that coalition is in the planning stages, but this will be the first coalition of its kind that brings together trauma survivors of abuse, neglect, violence, disaster, terrorism, and war. And by bringing us all together, This will be a powerhouse of advocates and practitioners and politicians, policymakers, news media, but bringing us all together, we can find the path to make this nation not a nation of trauma survivors, but a nation that's healing. And I hope that we eventually shift away from the question of what's wrong with that person towards the question of what happened to that person and a place of real understanding. I hope also that the Congress will step up and have a trauma caucus at some point. I think that the Victim Rights Caucus and the Mental Health Caucus and many others would join in to be supportive of something like that. So again, thank you all so much for this award. It means a lot to me, and I'm looking forward to the work moving forward.